Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world.
Hi, this is CHUSHI and you're watching Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world. So today we'll be talking about the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Mr. Tumysh Kanat, who is also the former ambassador of Kazakhstan in South Africa. On 14th Feb, Mr. Tumysh Kanat visited the Umrao Hotel, New Delhi for a meeting. The meeting began at 5 p.m. and continued till 6:30 p.m., during which Mr. Kanat expressed how thankful he is to visit our beautiful country, India. His last visit to India took place in Feb 2008 and now in Feb 2023 he came to India once again. In his speech during the meeting, he admired the reforms done by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in India. Mr. Kanat was here to participate for the 8th round of political consultation between the Republic of India and Republic of Kazakhstan and between the foreign ministers of both the nations. On 13th Feb, Mr. Kanat visited New Delhi and attended meetings with various Indian officials with whom he discussed wide range of bilateral, political and economical operations. Mr. Kanat also expressed his support towards India and how much he is inspired by the Indian leadership. We asked him about how important India is to Kazakhstan. Discussing about India's cultures, weddings, traditions and trade between the two nations, Mr. Kanat told us that India is extremely important to Kazakhstan and how he is working on strengthening the relations between the two nations. Here's a look of the important statements given by Mr. Kanat.
Distinguished representatives of Indian mass media, academic and analytical circles, my name is Kanat Tumysh. I am Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan. I was appointed very recently on the 11th of January, and I am sincerely glad to have this unique opportunity to visit your beautiful country again. Because last time I visited exactly on the month of February in 2008 in my capacity as a Deputy Director General of the Foreign Ministry, but this time I'm visiting as Deputy Minister. I would like to say how much I'm amazed of the reforms which was done in the Republic of India by Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and I'm here to participate. We already did this yesterday, the 8th round of political consultation between the Republic of India and the Republic of Kazakhstan, between our foreign ministries. During my visit to New Delhi yesterday, I had a number of bilateral consultations, meetings with the Indian officials, Her Excellency Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture, Madam Leki. We discussed the wide range of bilateral, political and economic cooperation, including those we achieved during Her Excellency visit to Astana last June 2022, where Her Excellency had fruitful meetings with our Ministers of Healthcare, Her Excellency Madam Ajar Giniyat, and also Minister for Digital Development, Innovations and Airspace Industry, His Excellency Mr. Baghdad Musin, as well as Minister for Sports and Culture, His Excellency Dauren Abayev, as well as Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Kazakhstan, His Excellency Mr. Mukhtar Tleuberdi. During our meeting, I expressed the deepest appreciation of the Republic of Kazakhstan for Her Excellency's attending as the head of Indian delegation at the 6th SIKA summit, which took place in October 2022. We also had a very fruitful meeting with the Secretary for Petroleum and Natural Gas, His Excellency Mr. Pankaj Jain, and the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas is a co-chair of the Intergovernmental Commission between our two friendly nations. We discussed current status and prospect for bilateral energy, economic, trade, investment, scientific and cultural collaboration, especially within the framework of Kazakh-Indian Intergovernmental Commission. After that, I had the privilege and honor to meet with Honorable His Excellency Mr. Dam Muravi, Secretary for Economic Relations of the Ministry of External Affairs. We exchanged our views on further strengthening Kazakhstani-Indian mutually beneficial cooperation in finance, banking, and other important dimensions, in particular utilizing our national currency in our bilateral trade. We also had a meeting with Joint Secretary of the Ministry of External Affairs for Disarmament, International Security Affairs, and Cybersecurity, Her Excellency Ms. Mohampuvi Sayawi. We considered multilateral interaction, including in the framework of a regional organization. We expressed our support, and we said how much we inspired by the Indian leadership in G20, but also we commend and applaud the Indian presidency in Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and we exchange our views on our collaboration in different platforms, inter alia, and above all in the framework of the United Nations, about our mutual support of the candidacies of two countries to the post of the United Nations Security Council. But the main event yesterday was Foreign Office's consultations with Honorable Secretary Verma, and during the consultations yesterday, my Indian counterparts and I discussed a wide range of bilateral and also multilateral topics of mutual interest. We conducted an audit of the state and outlined promising areas of cooperation in the field of political, trade, and economic cooperation. We discussed the exchanging of the visits at the highest level. We discussed also defense and military technical cooperation, our collaboration in the field of energy, including natural uranium. Also, we touch upon our interaction in IT sphere and outer space, culture, science, education. But also, it is also very important, we discussed our joint addressing international terrorism and many other important spheres. We took into account that the last visit of our head of states took place and it's already 14 years and the highest level visit of His Excellency Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in July 2015. We agreed to resume this good tradition and in the near future to hold the official visit of His Excellency President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev of Kazakhstan to India in the most acceptable terms for the both parties. During the Foreign Office's consultations, we stressed the very positive dynamics in our bilateral trade, which by the end of the year 2022 amounted to 2.4 billion USD, which is 17% higher than in the previous year. The exports from Kazakhstan during that period amounted to 1.9 billion USD, and growth is 14%, and imports from India 0.5 billion USD, the growth is 33%. We discussed also the tentative dates of the 15th meeting of the Kazakh-Indian Intergovernmental Commission. We agreed to hold it in May-June 2023 in Astana, the capital city of Kazakhstan. And this platform is a main mechanism of our bilateral cooperation. We noted with satisfaction the successes of our military technical cooperation. We appreciate very much the participation of Kazakhstan military personnel within the Indian peacekeeping battalion. We are very thankful to our Indian partners for including Kazakh military personnel in the composition of United Nations mission in Lebanon, UNIFIL, as well as we also exchange our views on the 6th joint Kazakh-Indian exercise, KAZ-IN 2022, which took place in December 2022 in the state of Meghalaya. And we sent there 19 military personnel from Kazakhstan. Now I would like to pass to the field of cultural cooperation. We agreed on the importance of such initiative at the erection of a bust of Kazakh poet and philosopher Abhay in New Delhi, here in St. Martin Park in June 2022. And we also erected a monument of the Indian icon, political public leader Mahatma Gandhi in Astana in October 2022. These very important steps created prerequisites for greater rapprochement between our two friendly peoples and countries. Now, passing to the multilateral format, we reviewed the state and prospects for the deepening our cooperation within the framework of the United Nations, SIGA, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We also discussed free trade area between the Republic of India and the Eurasian Economic Union, and also our collaboration within the IAEA. Special attention was paid to the agreements reached following the results of the first Central Asia-India Summit. It was, as you remember, online summit, which took place in January 2022, and we expressed confidence in the successful holding of the fourth meeting of the foreign ministers of the same dialogue in March, in the next month, March the 5th, March the 6th, in New Delhi here. During these meetings, we also exchanged our views on a number of topics on both bilateral and regional and also international agenda. And now, honorable representatives of mass media, academic and analytical circles, let me speak a little bit about the initiatives of our President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev of Kazakhstan. We started large-scale political reforms in Kazakhstan since January 2022. We said we now constructing the second republic in Kazakhstan. We constructing new, fair, democratic Kazakhstan. And this package of political reform are being implemented in line with the amendments to our constitution. Last year in June we had a referendum and our people overwhelmingly supported this initiative at the referendum. And also political initiative that President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev of Kazakhstan outlined in His Excellency's State of the Nation address in March 2022. The changes are having the following impact. greater democratization of our political system. We are now in a transition from a super presidential republic to the presidential republic with an influential parliament and also accountable government. We democratizing our electoral system. We are in transition to a mixed proportional majoritarian model, and we are further liberalizing party registration process in our country. We increase the role of the local legislative and representative bodies. We call them maslihats, and we ensure their full independence. Now, instead of secretary, we have a president, chairman of the maslihat, new position, very independent position. We limited the presidential term of office, and now it is only 7 years without the right to be re-elected. It is only one term for our president. We did this to ensure that we will not have any monopolization of the power in our country. And we're following wisdom of some Asian countries as well. I know that same we have in different Asian countries, one term. Also, we further improved the system of check and balances between the branches of our state power in the direction of limiting further presidential powers and strengthening the role of our Majlis, which is a lower house of our parliament. One of the main events in the political life of Kazakhstan next month is parliamentary elections scheduled for the 19th of March 2023. In this regard, we will further strengthen a multi-party system. Procedures for registering political parties in my country has been simplified, including a fourfold reduction in the number of signatures required to form a political party. And very importantly, a 30% quota has been introduced for women and youth in pre-election party lists and in the disruption of mandates of the MPs. This paves the way for the active participation of the representatives of these two very groups of our society in the political life of my country. And the threshold for entering the Majlis has been reduced from 7% to 5%. It's also another democratic step. We established constitutional court of the Republic of Kazakhstan instead of Constitutional Council. It's fully independent body. And President Tokayev has emphasized that the election campaign will be conducted in a strict accordance with the law and legislation. The election will be held fairly, openly, and with the broad participation of domestic and international observers, including from your esteemed country. According to the National Legislature of Kazakhstan, the new composition of the Majlis will be approved soon, and according to our constitution, the president will reshuffle the cabinet because we will have totally new parliament. And also one innovation, that president cannot be a member of any political party. During his term of office, he will voluntarily leave the political party, the ruling party. He already did this in accordance with our newly approved constitution. So it's also a very important step, because His Excellency would like to be a president of all Kazakhstanis, not only the party which elected His Excellency. And now, honorable representatives of mass media, honorable dear colleagues, Ambassador Panot, representatives of think tanks, we would like to pass to the interactive session. I would like to thank you very much, dear representatives, and I think in very friendly, semi-official, but not even official, but very friendly atmosphere, we can discuss our views, our thoughts. I would like also to propose, encourage you to be very active, and we need to discuss a wide range of topics. And thank you very much.
Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world.